Single on Purpose 90 Days of Reflection. The weekend's going so well for me. So I'm just here to say hi. I'm not going to read an excerpt today. I'm having computer issues. And so I'm trying to get it to update, uninstall, all that. But I did say I was going to post every day. So I wanted to do that. And I'm going to share something that's not in the book, really. And I'm going to talk about forgiveness. So if you want the book, Single on Purpose, Embracing the Life You Have, Preparing for the Love You Want, then please follow Bright Reflections in the comments. And when that book comes out in a few weeks, then we'll let you know. Hey, Ebony. So I'm just going to be vulnerable, really. Like, I have been struggling a lot with everything that's related to business. You know, you all may follow me on the podcast, or you may be in the community, or you may have read the other book, or you may, and on the outside, it looks like, whoa, she's doing all these things, and that's awesome. On the inside, it doesn't look like that. And so I'm not really here to talk about that, but I'm setting the context for what I'm going to share. And actually it is kind of related to the book, because there's a part of the framework that you'll learn that says lean into your healing so you don't bleed into your future. We talked about it on the podcast, Live, Love, and Marry Wiser, before. And so I really want to talk about that for a few minutes. I know this is different than just reading from the book, but I just want to share that because this is where I'm at. My computer doesn't work, so I can't read the book. But we'll be back tomorrow, hopefully. So because on the inside, things are not going the way that I would prefer, or even that I expect. Because let's be real, we have expectations, and those are valid or they're invalid, but they just are what we feel. We think that this should be happening or that should be happening. And if you're in the chat, just say hi. That'll be cool. And the way that the enemy was working on my brain, the enemy is Satan. And I really want to start calling out it. That's actually not a name, it's a title, but that's what we're used to. I'm going to call him the enemy, Satan, the devil, has been putting in my mind that God is not allowing these things to be successful, really, because he hasn't forgiven me or he's punishing me for something that I did. Like, literally, I'm talking about something specific that I did 15 years ago. Actually, it's 20 years ago. And every now and then, more often than I would love to admit, it like comes in my mind when something fails. Like, something happened yesterday. I'm not going to call it a failure. It's just, it didn't go the way that it seemed like it was going to go. I reverted back to this thing, like, but I confessed, I repented, I never did this thing again. So, like, why is that still being held over me? Like, why, because, yeah, anyway. So, I go to church today. It's Saturday night, but I go to church on Sabbath, the seventh day, Saturday, for those who may not be familiar with that. And the pastor's preaching about the sanctuary. And he's talking about, the different parts of the sanctuary. It's a really great, wonderful message, and I really want to listen to it again. But in the middle of the sermon, he talks about the fact that God is saying to you, God said, I'm not trying to expose you. I have forgiven, and you're just like trying to take these things back to him, and you're saying, do you remember when I did this? And he's like, nope. Because I said I was going to drop it in the bottom of the sea. I said I was going to toss it as far as the east is from the west, and that's what I did. And so basically, why aren't you doing that? It's bad enough when someone else tries to bring old stuff up, but it's much worse when you try to bring your own old stuff up that God has already forgiven you for. And because you know more about your bad stuff than anybody else knows about your bad stuff. And so healing is not a one-time thing. It's not like when you have a physical illness and you can go to the doctor or take a pill or have a surgery and then you recover and then it's done. Healing is an ongoing process, and you have to realize, okay, I'm definitely believe we can be totally healed of things. So I'm healed of that, but now God is revealing this. And I'm thinking for me that part of my healing is forgiving myself, because God's already past that, and recognizing that, number one, God doesn't work like that. Like, oh, I'm not going to let you be successful. I'm not going to let this work because you did this thing 20 years ago. He's not even doing it if you're doing it. You did this thing 20 minutes ago, let alone 20 years ago. But if God wants you to change something, he's going to convict you of it. He's going to give you the power to do it. And then when it's changed, he's done. And we're moving forward. And so part of my healing is trusting God's love for me. We actually do talk about that in the book. That's the first part of, and I'm giving y'all some secrets here, embracing your singleness is starting with your love for God and your relationship with God. And so I really had to go up to the pastor after church and say, thank you for saying that. I don't know if you planned to say it, but it wasn't just that he said it. It was that he said the words that I was thinking in my head or have been thinking. And I was thinking it this morning because of this thing that happened last night. I was thinking it this morning, and I go to church and he says the thing and he really rebukes the thing in a kind way. It's like, that's not how God is. And so I just wanted to share that with you because I couldn't read from the book, and hopefully that is helpful. It's just not how God is. If you've confessed and repented, and if it's and I think the other part is like, he's like, your private sins, God is not trying to expose. This was a private thing that I did. And he's like, I'm not trying to expose you. You recognize the conviction, you confess, you repented, you turned away. That is actually the process that you're supposed to follow. And so I realized that one reason that those things can be coming to my head is what I've already told you. But the other reason is because God's like, there's some things now that I need you've been convicted on. You've confessed, but you have not repented. And so I need you to follow that script and turn away from the thing. And that's part of the healing that you need to do so that you can grow and become the person that I want you to be. So I hope that all helps you. The book is coming out soon, Single on Purpose, Embracing the Life You Have, Preparing for the Love You Want. Drop reflections in the comment. And your nugget of the day is, if there's something in your heart that needs to be repented and turned away from, then do that. But then once you do that, accept, ACCEPT, accept that God has forgiven you, that he loves you. And when you bring it to him, he's going to be like, no, I don't remember that. I don't remember that. So thank you all. Thank you, Ebony, Renee, Zoe, the Tone Panther. Thank you. And I will see you tomorrow on day 8 of Single on Purpose, 90 Days of Reflections. Thank you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.